Hello everybody, DarkPhoenix Gaming here, and welcome back to Let's Play The Witcher 2 Enhanced Edition. Last time we left off, I was fighting and dying repeatedly against Saskia in her dragon form. So, what I actually ended up having to do is, I reloaded a previous save, and I did a whole bunch of stuff that I'd skipped in order to get myself some better equipment. So, now let's show you that better equipment. I'm currently equipped with the Kerme steel sword, which basically, as far as I can tell, is either it's close to the best sword in the game or the best sword in the game. I'm honestly not sure. I also have the Adendeus sword for my silver sword, which I picked up while doing the Gargoyle side quest. The Elder Blood gauntlets, trousers, and boots, as well as a couple more enhancements for my Karen armor. I'm told there's supposed to be a really excellent piece of armor that I can pick up the diagrams for in Chapter 3, but unfortunately, it requires that I do a side quest that starts in Chapter 1. A side quest which I never actually picked up, so it's not possible for me to do that. But in addition to that, I also did a bunch of crafting and have made a couple of tawny owl potions to accelerate my vigor regeneration. And a whole heap of grape shot bombs, which I will now be putting in my pocket. And I'm also now level 34. So that'll help. So, before we go anywhere, I am going to add a couple of things to Geralt. And also, you should probably know there were a couple of minor things that happened off camera that you missed. That Selkirk guy, who we had a fist fight with in Act 2, turned up again for another fight and I beat the crap out of him. It wasn't really worth watching, it was just me punching him repeatedly, basically. We'll do that. Also some tawny owl, just so I can shield a bit more often. And as you can see, level 34. But I can't add any more potions or I will die from potionness. However, I do have rather an excess of sword enhancement devices that I can make use of. So we'll find another one I can also add. Falca's Blood increases my maximum damage by 10%. So, let's get our asses up here and shield. Hey there, Saskia. How you doing? Come on. Get down. Okay, shield it up. Now again. Geralt, please don't die. You're being too successful to die now. And now, I think we just won. Oh yeah! So let's do this. Bring us down a dragon. Hopefully without killing her. Because I rather like Saskia, and I would like it if she didn't die during this affair. Fortunately, I managed to hit the right button just in time, so... Or rather, I didn't, because that screwed up. I thought I did, but hitting the wrong thing just before apparently fucked that up. Let's try this again, shall we? Dying during QTEs is always a little bit embarrassing, I have to admit. Okay. Go on, Geralt. Get Saskia. Stab her. Do the Riordan thing, just without the falling to your death. And to those of you who don't know what the Riordan thing is, you obviously haven't played Dragon Age Origins up to the end. So I will say no more, except fucking play Dragon Age Origins. Please don't tell me that Saskia dies from a wooden spike. That would be quite awkward to have to explain to Yorveth, as well as the people of Vergen. Of course, we'd only be explaining it to Yorveth, because I don't think we'll be sticking around long enough to chat up the locals in Vergen again, quite honestly. That victory is ours. Just shows you what you can do when you prepare ahead of time, like I did this time, rather than the last attempt, where I just jumped into things haphazardly, with pretty much the shittiest equipment available. We didn't even have to stab her, just hold the blade near where she was, it looks like. Problem solved. Hello there, Saskia. I hope the wooden spike through your chest doesn't cause too much permanent damage.
I think we can skip the niceties.
Yeah, unnecessary.
True
Yet
enough.
I sense your readiness to fight on.
Yeah, just inborn caution. You were trying to eat me just a few seconds ago, after all.
We were fighting to the death just minutes ago.
I understand. I believe I owe you part of my treasure. Family tradition and all.
No need. Can you make it back to Vergen?
I think so. I've always healed quickly in the past.
Yeah, from being a dragon, I imagine. Philippa's escaped. You should probably know this. She ran off. I mean, she was blinded, she'd had her eyes gouged out, but she turned into an owl and flew away after sicking a golem on me, so I imagine she has plans. Watch out for that one. She's going to be trouble. I can tell.
Philippa took advantage of the chaos and escaped. Think she could reveal your secret?
That's not exactly what I had in
nothing I can
mind.
control. I don't intend to pursue her. We may or may not meet again, but I shall leave that to fate.
She's not one to give up easily. I think she'll come after you again, try to take control, as soon as she's done licking her
If you
wounds.
can lick the wound of
I
two
shall be
gouged
cautious
out
next time.
eyes.
And I know much more about Eilhart than she would ever wish.
Yeah, I won't ask you what, though.
Keep that knowledge until you need it.
Philippa is a tragic figure. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I met another dragon once, you know.
You know, you're not the first dragon I've talked to.
You met my father, Villain Trettenworth, known also as Borg 3 Jackdaw.
Wow, that's a hell of a name.
He thought so as well.
Polymorphing. Did you get that from him?
Just a hint of it. I can only assume one human form. He could transform into anyone he liked.
You also don't have his quickness and reflexes, and I don't think I saw a single golden scale on you.
Nor do I have his mustache or paunch. Sorry to disappoint you.
Professional curiosity. Forgive me.
Wow, this is
Where is
great.
Ward these days?
Who can know that? He taught me what he thought I should know and flew off yonder. It's the dragon's way. And he gave me my name.
Synthesis, if I heard right.
I prefer being Saskia.
Yeah, it is easier to pronounce, to be sure.
Sheila and Philippa have lost. The Lodge has been defeated.
That's good, though temporary. I fear we shall hear of them again.
You know Emir's armies have crossed the Yaruga?
I expected as much, as did Philippa. We defeated the Edirnian lords and Henselt. With a bit of luck, we'll defeat the Emperor as well.
Well, I wish you luck, Saskia. You're certainly going to need it. And we're not going to say she owes Yorveth, because, quite honestly, that's for Saskia and Yorveth to work out. We're not going to insert ourselves into that whole mess. But I wish you good luck, Saskia.
Time I was on my way.
You shall always be a welcome guest in Vergen. I underline guest.
Don't worry, I'm only ever a visitor.
I know. Sometimes I wish I could see the future, like my father.
And sometimes it's better to be surprised.
Farewell, Witcher.
Bye-bye for now. Aw, I gotta admit, that conversation was kinda sweet. 3 achievements unlocked, once ain't enough, Guru and Dragonheart. Nice. Oh dear. Oh dear. The Redanians are going all Salem witch trials on the magical occupants of Lochmuin now. This is not gonna be good. Oh no, and now they're staking them too. Crucifixion as well, their variety of it. This really is quite gruesome. God damn it. God damn it, Radovid, you are as much of a bastard now as I thought you were before.
In the beginning, there was chaos.
Go fuck yourself, you bastard. Epilogue. So that's chapter 3 done with, and we're on to the epilogue. I wonder if this will be like the Witcher 1 epilogue, where there's a handful of fights, but it's basically a formality, and the game's already over. Not sure if it'll be that, or if this is a whole new section, honestly.
What
We
happened to
will
Saskia?
find out.
She's alive. Wounded from our scrap, but alive. She impaled herself on a tree, and then I had to use that dagger. But she'll make it. Mountain air is good for a dragon's hide.
You're the most noble human I know, Gwynblade.
I'm no human.
I'm glad you reminded me. My hatred for the species abated for a moment.
Yeah, and we can't have that now, can
Strange
we?
thing. He sits in the Temerians' former camp. I believe he awaits you.
How do you know?
I saw him. He's got Triss.
Let's go. Tell me what happened here on the way.
While you were fighting Saskia, the
Alright.
city was staged to a bloody spectacle.
Let's
The
go.
players.
There were many. At first, it was a hunt for the traitors, but it soon turned into a hunt for all mages.
Ugh.
And there were a few
This way,
skirmishes
eh?
between Kedweni, Redanian, and Temerian troops. Rape, pillage, and murder. Not necessarily in that order. The pastimes of the Order's pious knights. And the regular troops soon followed suit. The
I'm
kings with their
suddenly
choice
reminded
units left the city just after the dragon attack.
Of why
And the
I
Elf Guardians?
really
Remained neutral.
fucking hated
That is
the
to
Order
say
of the
they shot
Flaming
anyone
Rose
who dared approach
by the
their
end
camp.
of Witcher 1. I'm suddenly reminded of why I wasn't fond of the Order.
When we're done with you, you'll be a lump of whimpering meat. Elf! Kill the non-human.
Get our sword out. Time to try out the new toy, I would say. Okay, let's shield it up again. And that'll be them taken care of.
Beasts! Bloody sons of bitches!
Will you be all right?
Yes, thank you. Leave me.
What happened here?
When the summit ended, we hid in one of the houses. But they found us. They cut off both my sister's hands so she wouldn't cast spells. But I managed to escape. They caught me here.
Let's go, Gwynblade. This is madness. Lochmeen has changed. That's what it looks like now.
And I'm back. Sorry for the brief pause. Personal stuff got in the way there. So, let's get back to it, shall we? Ugh, this place is just gruesome. Ugh, God. Yeah, this makes
I heard something.
the town
Imperial
near
troops.
Lavalette Castle in the siege at the start of the game look almost pleasant in comparison. Your precious emperor can go fuck himself, quite honestly. Your emperor can go fuck himself, is my answer to that bullshit. Fuck the emperor. Your emperor can go screw himself. I don't really care what your opinion is on hearing that. But now let's do a little riposting. Back off so that I can... Come on. Down you go. Now, I'll take a bit of random loot. And a pair of Imperial sharpshooters. You idiots can go down. Hey, I know you're busy invading the north right now, guys, but
Finish your story.
could you at least not attack me?
It was relatively
That's just
quiet.
rude.
Then I saw Letho leading Triss out.
They let him go?
No one dared stop him. I followed him. I think he noticed me, but didn't seem to care. Once the fighting died down, he went to the former Temerian camp.
Is Triss all right?
Yes. Letho defended her from marauders.
That's odd. Why would he defend her? I mean, he kidnapped her and forced her to teleport him before. Why would he give a damn? Very curious indeed. Okay, through here. This is going to be where we go to find him, I think, but I'll save first. Just 'cause. And there's Triss and Letho. Time for the final
I'm
confrontation.
going alone.
Why?
This is between the two of us. Take care of Triss until I return.
Your choice.
Mine, indeed. There's one more thing you need to know. Nilfgaard's armies have crossed the Yaruga. War is inevitable.
Va fail, Gwynblade. Don't get killed.
Farewell, Yorvith. If I don't return within the hour, find Saskia and leave without me. Are you all right?
Yes. He saved me from the Nilfgaardians. And defended me from the troops.
It's time to end this. Yorvith's waiting. I'll catch up with you soon.
Geralt, he knows a lot.
I know, Triss. That's why we need to talk.
Don't get killed, Witcher.
I won't.
And we have our reunion with Triss. So now, only one thing remains. We have to find and confront Letho. Before we do this, I'm going to save the game, just in case this devolves into violence. So, let's do this. Howdy there, Letho. We have a score to settle. And I need some answers.
Took you a while? Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
Too bad
I
we
let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the royal witch hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of spur of the moment.
So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
She just asked
No matter the game,
me to remove the
there
diamond,
comes a point
and
when
I
all the
sort of
players
did
need to
it
show their
at the
cards.
moment without thinking.
I love that moment. But first, vodka.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. After everything Geralt's been through recently, he could do with a drink or 12.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Yep.
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every Witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Wow. So the Wild Hunt are just elves from an alternate dimension. Oh my god, they're the Thalmor.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for a lot of reasons.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
The Riders of the Wild Hunt. Do you know who they are? I mean, I managed to work out that they're elves, but beyond the elves from another dimension thing, I'm drawing a blank.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Or you could ask that
Which
instead.
who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are. You know the true identities of the riders.
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. And then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
Yeah, pretty much.
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern.
So, Yennefer, tell me what happened to her.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days, delirious, in agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
Ouch.
So I heard.
Unpleasant
So we set
sounding, that's for sure.
Wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Sarret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly. But it was uneventful. No violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau. And a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatia had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire.
She was when I left.
Well, I gotta admit, Yennefer sounds like kind of a bitch, and I have no idea what Geralt saw in her before. Hopefully the third game will tell us that. But, moving on to other questions, why did you become an Imperial spy? Other than the fact that you were their prisoner and they were probably forcing you to or be locked up forever kind of thing, I mean.
How did a Witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper. The Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago. And Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Sarret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Well, I gotta admit, I can see why that would be an awfully tempting offer for him. If his Witcher's school was offered to be rebuilt, if he just killed a couple of monarchs. Which, as far as Geralt's concerned, monarchs are just some fancy bastard with shiny clothes and a crown. So we don't really care about them. But why did you wait for me anyways? You could have been long gone ages ago. Why wait around for me?
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
Well, I'm not about to disagree. It is kind of a mess right now. But I am a little curious about the assassination still. How do you find Sheila?
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can't change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demovan. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I'd been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila. And now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
Where'd you get your information about the Lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir Durido, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claimed she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the Lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk, but it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers, and we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the Lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Hensel's assassinations.
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery solar?
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The King of Temeri would have to deal with the lava land sooner or later. He made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when the castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd seen the light. Not very believable. So one of Arian's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arian's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret. Then all I had to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
When did you decide to get rid of Yorveth?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him. A true fox, that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran...
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorveth. I forced you to flee.
And I let you live. You know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I remember. So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You.
I am so
could have killed you in the
pleased
Elven ruins.
that
Thing
you
is, you were
appreciate
queen
my
of my
brilliance. Haha. But then again, you did fail in slaying Henselt, now didn't you?
You screwed up with Henselt.
Sabrina's curse tore that down. First off, we got holed up in that hideout in the ruins. Then Sheila showed up and started watching Henselt like he was her own ass. By that time, his death was no longer necessary. Fate had smiled upon us again. I learned of the summit and the efforts to reconstitute the council and conclave. The ideal setting for the mission's grand finale.
And finally, Yennefer and the Wild Hunt. We've already asked about that, apparently, so let's finish this. It's time to end things.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Wanna fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here.
That's a hell of a swig.
The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
Okay, this is a tricky one, because on the one hand, this guy is our friend, and he helped save Triss, and he is a fellow Witcher. And as we learned with Bearghost, or whatever the hell his name was, that Witcher in the first game, who was siding with Salamandra, who we still let live and helped out. As we learned with that guy, Geralt generally has a favorable opinion of fellow Witchers on principle, regardless of anything they've done. On the other hand, we did give Roach our word that we would avenge Foltest's death and deal with his killer. But, on the other hand, we don't necessarily have a favorable opinion of Roach. Just because generally, for a lot of reasons, Geralt considers Roach to be a bit of a bastard as well as kind of a hypocrite. So, I don't think we are going to try and kill Letho, because Geralt's favorable opinion about his fellow Witchers, as well as the fact that this guy is his friend, took care of Yennefer and protected Triss. All of that, combined with a few other things, is going to make us more inclined to let him go. So, alright then, Letho, go. Somewhere far away from here, and I never want to see you again.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
And there's that as well.
Just like that.
His death
No
would be
threats.
pretty pointless.
No words of wisdom.
Wouldn't accomplish
Going or
anything.
not. Farewell, Geralt.
It's time for us to go then. And if my gaming senses are speaking to me correctly, I do believe this is the end of The Witcher 2. So, Yorveth, Triss, time for us to get going. Or is Geralt going to take off without them? I'm not sure. Oh, we're just opening a gate or something. Once the ladybug is finished being on our hand, that is. Goodbye, fair ladybug. I will see you in another life. Now let's open this gate.